When Natalie Morrison's mother told her to leave and not come back, on Christmas Eve, in front of the entire family, because Natalie was pregnant and unmarried, she thought she'd hit rock bottom. When she found herself sitting on a snow-covered curb with nowhere to go and $23 in her bank account, she realized rock bottom had a basement. But when the lonely driver pulled up in his black Charger, crouched beside her in the snow, and said, "Come with me," offering warmth and safety with no expectations, Natalie discovered that sometimes salvation comes from the most unexpected places, and that the family you choose can be stronger than the family you're born into. But let's go back. Back to the beginning of the worst and best day of Natalie's life. Back to when she still thought her family's love was unconditional. When the driver was just another person navigating loneliness during the holidays. When neither of them knew that Christmas Eve would change everything. Christmas Eve 4:47 p.m. Natalie had practiced the conversation 100 times during the 6-hour drive from Denver to her hometown of Pinewood Springs, Montana. She'd imagined every possible reaction, prepared responses for anger, disappointment, judgment. What she hadn't prepared for was immediate rejection. "You're what?" Her mother's voice could have cut glass. Pregnant, 12 weeks. Natalie stood in her childhood living room, surrounded by Christmas decorations that suddenly felt accusatory. Her 3 siblings and their perfect families stared at her from the sectional sofa like she'd announced she had a communicable disease. "And the father?" Her father's voice was deadly quiet, worse than yelling. "Gone. We broke up 6 weeks ago. He made it clear he wants nothing to do with the baby or me." "Of course he did," her mother said bitterly. "Because you're 25 years old, Natalie. You should have known better, should have been more careful, should have—" "I know, Mom. I know I messed up, but I'm keeping the baby and I'm asking for your support." "Support?" Her oldest brother Marcus laughed harshly. "You want us to support your mistake? To smile and pretend this isn't shameful?" "It's not shameful. It's a baby. Your niece or nephew." "It's a bastard," her mother interrupted, using a word that made Natalie flinch. "Conceived out of wedlock, by a woman who clearly has no moral compass or common sense. That's not fair." "Fair? You want to talk about fair?" Her mother's voice rose. "Your father and I raised you in the church, taught you right from wrong, gave you every advantage, and you repay us by getting pregnant by some man who doesn't even want you? By embarrassing this family in front of the entire community?" "I'm not trying to embarrass anyone. I'm trying to tell my family that I'm going to be a mother and I need—" "You need to leave," her father said flatly. The room went silent. Even Natalie's siblings looked shocked. "Dad, You heard me. If you're going to make these choices, face these consequences alone. We raised you better than this. Clearly you've chosen to reject everything we taught you, so you can spend your Christmas somewhere else. You're kicking me out on Christmas Eve." Natalie felt tears threatening but refused to let them fall. "Where am I supposed to go? That's not our problem anymore." Her mother's face was stone. "You made your bed, literally. Now you lie in it." "Mom, please. Don't beg and don't cry. You want to be a single mother? Fine, start now, without us." Natalie looked at her siblings, at Marcus and his wife, at her sister Jen and her husband, at her younger brother Tom, waiting for someone to speak up, to defend her, to show basic human compassion. No one said a word. "Fine," Natalie said quietly, gathering the overnight bag she'd brought. "I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas celebrating your perfect lives and perfect children. I'll make sure my bastard child never has to experience this kind of cruelty from their own family." She walked out into the December cold, her mother's final words following her. "Don't come back. You're not welcome here anymore." Christmas Eve, 6:23 p.m. Natalie sat on her suitcase on a street corner, 3 blocks from her parents' house, trying to figure out what to do. Her options were limited and bleak. Her car had been repossessed last month. She'd fallen behind on payments after losing her job at the marketing firm. She had $23 in her checking account until her unemployment payment hit next week. Her apartment in Denver was a sublease that ended January 1st. She'd planned to find something cheaper after the holidays. Her ex-boyfriend had blocked her number. Her few friends were celebrating with their own families, and she couldn't bring herself to burden them with her crisis. She had nowhere to go, no one to call, nothing but the clothes in her bag and a baby growing inside her that her own family had called shameful. Natalie pulled out her phone and called her mother one more time. It rang once before going to voicemail. Her mother had rejected the call. That's when she started crying, not gentle tears, but body-shaking sobs of grief, fear, and absolute loneliness. It was Christmas Eve. She was pregnant, broke, and homeless. And her family, the people who were supposed to love her unconditionally, had thrown her away like garbage. "Excuse me? Are you okay?" Natalie looked up through tears to see a man standing a respectful distance away. Early 30s, dark hair, leather jacket, the kind of rugged handsomeness that would normally make her cautious. But his expression held only concern. No threat, no judgment, just genuine worry. "I'm fine," she lied automatically. "With respect, you're crying on a street corner in the snow on Christmas Eve. That's not fine." He gestured to the suitcase. "Are you stranded? Do you need a ride somewhere?" "I don't have anywhere to go." The admission hung in the cold air between them. The man studied her for a long moment, seeming to make a decision. "My name is Dominic, Dom. I was on my way to spend a very lonely Christmas alone in my apartment, eating takeout and pretending the holidays don't exist. If you want, you can come with me. No expectations, no pressure, just somewhere warm, somewhere safe. Better than freezing on a street corner." Natalie should have said no, should have been terrified of a stranger offering help. But she looked at him, really looked, and saw loneliness that matched her own, saw someone who understood what it meant to be alone on a night when everyone else was celebrating family. Why would you help a complete stranger? If you love stories where Christmas rejection meets unexpected grace, subscribe and don't miss what happens next. Because I've been where you are. Different circumstances, but same desperation. Someone helped me once when I had nowhere to go. I'm trying to pay that forward. Dom pulled out his phone. "Look, I'll give you my full name, my address, my sister's phone number. You can call her right now. Verify I'm not a serial killer. I can't leave you here. It's Christmas Eve, and it's freezing, and you look like your world just ended." "It kind of did," Natalie admitted. "Then let me help it start over, even just for tonight. Come with me." Natalie looked at her phone. No missed calls, no messages, just the rejected call log showing her mother's number. She looked at the houses around them, full of families celebrating together, full of warmth she was excluded from. She looked at Dom, at this stranger offering kindness when her own family had offered cruelty. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay, I'll come with you." Dom's smile was gentle and genuinely relieved. "Thank you for trusting me. Let me get your bag." He picked up her suitcase and overnight bag like they weighed nothing, leading her to the black Charger parked at the curb. As Natalie climbed into the passenger seat, feeling the warmth from the heater wash over her frozen face, she had no idea that this moment, this choice to trust a stranger, would change her entire life. She'd been rejected by her family on Christmas. But the Lonely Driver had offered her something they never had: acceptance without conditions, help without judgment, grace without deserving it. And that was about to become the greatest gift she'd ever received. Dom's apartment was nothing like Natalie expected. She'd braced herself for mess, for bachelor chaos, for the kind of space that proved he lived alone and had given up on appearances. Instead, she found a modest one-bedroom that was clean, organized, and surprisingly homey. Bookshelves lined one wall, a well-worn leather couch faced a reasonable TV. The kitchen was spotless. A small artificial Christmas tree sat in the corner, decorated with mismatched ornaments that looked handmade. "It's not much," Dom said, setting her bags down. "But it's warm and it's safe. Bathroom's through that door. Bedroom's mine, but you can have it. I'll take the couch. Are you hungry?" Natalie realized she was starving. She'd been too nervous to eat before confronting her family. And that had been hours ago. "Yeah, actually, yes." "Good. I've got Chinese takeout on the way. Ordered it when we were driving. Hope you like lo mein and spring rolls." "You ordered food for me?" "I ordered food for us. Figured we'd both need comfort food after today." Dom shrugged off his leather jacket, revealing a faded band t-shirt underneath. Without the jacket, he looked less intimidating, just a tired man trying to navigate a difficult night. "Can I get you something to drink? Tea, coffee, water?" "Water's good." As Dom moved around the kitchen, Natalie studied him. He was attractive, objectively, undeniably attractive, but that wasn't what struck her. What struck her was the casual kindness, the way he made space for her without making her feel like a burden, the genuine care in small gestures, like remembering to order food. "Why are you spending Christmas alone?" she asked as he handed her the water. "Long story." Dom sat in the armchair across from her, maintaining respectful distance. "Short version, my family's on the East Coast. We're not estranged exactly, but we're not close. Different values, different lives. I usually work through the holidays so other people can spend time with their families. But this year, the freight company shut down for 3 days, so here I am." "You're a driver?" "Freight hauler, independent contractor. I spend most of my life on the road." He smiled wryly. "Hence the loneliness." "That sounds isolating." "It is, but it's also freedom. No one depending on me, no one disappointed when I can't show up, no complicated relationships to navigate, just me, the road, and whatever I'm hauling." Natalie heard the loneliness underneath his words, the same loneliness she felt, just wrapped in different circumstances. "What about you?" Dom asked gently. "What happened tonight? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but you looked pretty devastated when I found you." Natalie took a breath. She could lie, deflect, keep her shame private. Or she could be honest with this stranger who'd shown her more compassion in an hour than her family had in a lifetime. "I'm pregnant," she said simply. 12 weeks. The father wants nothing to do with me or the baby. I drove 6 hours to tell my family, hoping for support. Instead, my mother called my baby a bastard and kicked me out of the house on Christmas Eve in front of everyone. Dom's expression darkened with anger, not at her, but for her. "That's cruel. That's my family." Natalie felt tears threatening again. "My mom's very religious, very concerned with appearances. An unmarried pregnant daughter doesn't fit the perfect Christian family image. So I got excommunicated." "I'm sorry, you didn't deserve that." "Didn't I? I mean, I did get pregnant accidentally. I did trust a man who bailed the second things got complicated. I did make choices that led me here." "Making mistakes doesn't mean you deserve to be abandoned," Dom said firmly. "Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone trusts the wrong people sometimes. That doesn't make you unworthy of love or support or basic human decency." The words hit Natalie harder than she expected. She'd been telling herself all evening that maybe her mother was right, that she'd brought this shame on herself, that she deserved the rejection. But Dom's simple statement, "You didn't deserve that," cracked something open in her chest. "Thank you," she whispered, "for saying that, for believing that. I'm not just saying it, I mean it." Dom leaned forward, his expression intense. "Natalie, I don't know you, but I know what it's like to be rejected by family, to feel like you're fundamentally unlovable because you don't fit their expectations. And I know that's bullshit. You're not unlovable. You're just surrounded by people who've made love conditional. You sound like you're speaking from experience." "I am," Dom's jaw tightened. My family wanted me to be a lawyer, to be respectable, to fit their upper-middle-class suburban ideal. I wanted to be a driver, to be free, to not spend my life in an office slowly dying of boredom. When I dropped out of law school to get my CDL, they were less than supportive. Did they kick you out? Not exactly, but they made it clear I was a disappointment, that I was wasting my potential and embarrassing them. Eventually, I stopped going to family events because it was easier than facing their judgment every time. He smiled sadly. So yeah, I get it. Different situation, but same fundamental problem. Family that makes love contingent on meeting their expectations. The doorbell rang, the Chinese food arriving. As they ate lo mein and spring rolls on Dom's couch, watching Christmas movies on mute, Natalie felt something she hadn't felt in months. Safe. Not just physically safe, but emotionally safe. Like she could breathe without judgment, exist without performance. "Can I ask you something?" Dom said as they finished eating. "What's your plan? After tonight?" "Honestly, I have no idea." Natalie set down her empty container. "My car was repossessed last month. I lost my job 3 weeks ago. Marketing firm did layoffs. My apartment lease ends January 1st. I have $23 until my unemployment hits next week. The father of my baby blocked my number. My family just disowned me. I'm 12 weeks pregnant with zero plan for how to support myself or a child." She said it all matter-of-factly, but saying it out loud made the enormity of her situation crash over her. She started crying again, exhausted, overwhelmed tears. Dom moved to sit beside her on the couch, close but not touching. "Hey, it's okay to be scared. This is a scary situation. I'm not just scared. I'm terrified. I'm going to be responsible for another human life, and I can barely take care of myself. How am I supposed to do this alone?" "Maybe you don't have to be alone." Natalie looked at him through tears. "What do you mean?" Dom seemed to be choosing his words carefully. "I mean, I've got space. This apartment, it's small, but it's got a bedroom you could use. I'm on the road most of the time anyway. I'm literally only here maybe 2 days a week. You could stay until you figure things out. No rent, no pressure, just somewhere stable while you get back on your feet." "You can't be serious." "I'm completely serious." "Dom, you don't even know me. Why would you let a pregnant stranger move into your apartment?" "Because you need help, and I can provide it. Because I remember what it felt like to have nowhere safe to land. Because it's the right thing to do." He met her eyes. "And because something tells me you'd do the same for someone else if you could." Natalie studied his face, looking for ulterior motives, finding none. Just genuine, almost desperate desire to help. "What do you get out of this?" she asked carefully. "Honestly, the knowledge that I helped someone when they needed it most. And maybe someone to come home to occasionally. Someone who makes this apartment feel less like a temporary stop and more like an actual home." "You're lonely," Natalie realized. "Desperately," Dom admitted. "Have been for years. I'm good at the solitude, good at functioning alone. But good at it doesn't mean I like it." They sat in silence for a moment, both processing the enormity of what he was offering. "I can't take advantage of you like that," Natalie said finally. "You wouldn't be taking advantage. You'd be doing me a favor. Companionship, someone to talk to, someone who makes the apartment feel lived in, that's worth a lot more than rent money. What if it gets complicated? What if we end up hating each other? Then we figure it out like adults, set boundaries, communicate honestly, make adjustments as needed. But Natalie, right now you need stability. You need somewhere safe to be while you figure out your next steps. Let me provide that." Natalie wanted to say no, wanted to maintain her pride, her independence, her determination to handle everything herself. But she was pregnant, broke, homeless, and exhausted, and Dom was offering exactly what she needed most: safety, stability, and acceptance without conditions. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay, I'll stay, but I'm getting a job as soon as possible. I'm contributing somehow. This isn't charity." "Deal." Dom smiled, and it was warm and genuine. "Welcome home, Natalie." Natalie woke up Christmas morning in a bedroom that wasn't hers, wearing borrowed sweatpants in an apartment belonging to a man she'd met 12 hours ago. The surreality of it hit her all at once. She checked her phone. 0 messages from her family, not even a Merry Christmas from her siblings, just silence. Like she'd ceased to exist the moment she walked out that door. There was a knock on the bedroom door. "Natalie, you awake? I made coffee, decaf, since you're pregnant." The thoughtfulness of that small gesture, remembering she shouldn't have caffeine, brought unexpected tears to her eyes. "I'll be right out." Dom had transformed the living room overnight. The small Christmas tree now had presents underneath it, wrapped in newspaper comics, because he obviously hadn't planned for a guest. The smell of coffee and something sweet filled the apartment. "You made breakfast?" Natalie asked, emerging to find the table set with plates of French toast and fruit. "Figured we should celebrate something, even if it's just surviving yesterday." Dom gestured to the tree. "And I got you a couple things. Nothing big. I made a late-night run to the 24-hour drugstore. But I didn't want you to wake up on Christmas with nothing." Natalie felt her throat tighten. "Dom, you've already done so much. Just open them, please." The first package contained prenatal vitamins, pregnancy books, and a journal. The second held basic toiletries, comfortable clothes in her size, he'd guessed correctly, and a soft blanket. The third was a gift card to Target with $200 on it. "I can't accept this," Natalie said, even as tears streamed down her face. "You already did. Merry Christmas, Natalie." She cried through breakfast, not sad tears this time, but overwhelmed ones. This stranger had done more for her in 12 hours than her family had done in months, more than the father of her baby had done ever. "I'm sorry," she said, wiping her eyes. "I'm not usually this emotional. The pregnancy hormones. You don't have to apologize for having feelings, especially after what you went through yesterday." Dom refilled her orange juice. "What do you want to do today? We can watch movies, take a walk if you want fresh air, or just rest. Whatever you need." "What would you normally do on Christmas?" "Work, usually. But this year, probably just sit here avoiding thinking about my own family issues." "That sounds depressing." "It is, which is why having you here is actually a gift for me too. Gives me something to focus on besides my own loneliness." They spent Christmas Day doing absolutely nothing significant, watching movies, playing cards, talking about everything and nothing. Dom told her about life on the road, the places he'd seen, the weird people he'd met, the freedom and isolation of constant travel. Natalie told him about her marketing career, her failed relationship with her ex, her complicated feelings about unplanned pregnancy. "Are you scared?" Dom asked during a quiet moment. "About being a mom?" "Terrified," Natalie admitted. "I didn't plan this. I'm not ready. I have no idea what I'm doing, but..." She placed a hand on her still flat stomach. "I already love this baby. Is that weird?" "That's not weird. That's beautiful. My mom said keeping it was selfish, that I should give it up for adoption if I can't provide properly." "Your mom's wrong. You're not selfish for wanting to keep your own child. And providing properly isn't just about money. It's about love, attention, being present. You've got that." "How do you know? You just met me." "Because I've watched you all day. You've been reading those pregnancy books non-stop. You've already started making lists of things you need to do, things you need to learn. You're scared, but you're not running away. That's what makes a good parent, showing up even when it's hard." Over the next few days, they fell into an unexpected routine. Dom helped Natalie apply for jobs online, updated her resume, practiced interview responses. She cleaned his apartment thoroughly, not because he asked, but because she needed to contribute somehow. They cooked together, watched TV together, existed in the same space with surprising ease. "You're not what I expected," Natalie said one evening. "What did you expect?" "I don't know, someone more. Intimidating? You've got the leather jacket, the tattoos, the mysterious loner thing going on, but you're actually kind of a softie." Dom laughed. "Don't tell anyone. I've got a reputation to maintain. Your secret's safe with me." But the easy comfort they'd found was disrupted when Dom had to leave for a haul, 5 days on the road, delivering freight to the West Coast. "You'll be okay here alone?" he asked, concern evident. "I'll be fine. I'm a grown woman, Dom. I can handle 5 days." "I know, I'm used to you being here now. Feels weird leaving. You've been alone in this apartment for years. You'll survive." But after Dom left, Natalie realized she'd gotten used to his presence too. The apartment felt empty without him, too quiet, too still, too lonely. She'd only known him a week, but somehow he'd become essential to her sense of safety and stability. She kept busy, job applications, organizing the apartment, reading pregnancy books. But mostly, she found herself waiting for Dom's nightly calls, when he'd check in from whatever truck stop he'd landed at, asking about her day, telling her about his route, making her laugh with stories about weird roadside attractions. "I miss you," Natalie said one night, then immediately regretted it. "Sorry, that's weird to say. We barely know each other." "It's not weird," Dom said quietly. "I miss you too. Apartment's going to feel like home when I get back. Haven't felt that way about anywhere in years." On day 4 of Dom's absence, Natalie's ex-boyfriend somehow got her new number and started calling. She ignored the first 3 calls, but he was persistent. "What do you want, Trevor?" she finally answered. "Nat, baby, I made a mistake. I've been thinking about you, about the baby. I want to be involved. You blocked my number 6 weeks ago. You told me to handle it, like I was dealing with a problem, not carrying your child. I panicked, but I've had time to think, and I want to be a father. I want us to try again." "No. Nat, come on. Think about the baby. Don't you want them to have a father?" "I want them to have a good father. That's not you. You've proven that." "Where are you even staying? Your lease was up. Are you homeless? Let me help." "I don't need your help. I'm fine." "Fine where? Who are you with?" The possessiveness in his tone made Natalie's skin crawl. "That's none of your business. Don't call me again, Trevor." She hung up, blocking the number. But the interaction left her shaken. Trevor had been controlling during their relationship. Not physically abusive, but emotionally manipulative. Always needing to know where she was, who she was with, what she was doing. When Dom called that night, Natalie told him about Trevor's calls. "Do I need to come home?" Dom asked immediately. "No, I'm okay. I blocked him. He can't reach me now. If he shows up at the apartment, he doesn't know where I am. I never told him your address." "Good. Keep it that way." Dom's voice was protective, almost fierce. "Natalie, if he bothers you again, if he tries to contact you or finds out where you're staying, you tell me immediately, understood?" "Understood." "But Dom, why do you care so much? We've known each other a week." A long pause. Then, "Because you matter. Maybe more than you should after just a week, but you do. You and that baby, you've become important to me, and I protect what's important." Natalie felt something shift in her chest, not falling in love exactly, but recognizing the potential for it, seeing the foundation being built. "You've become important to me too," she admitted. "Yeah?" "Yeah, which is terrifying, by the way." Dom laughed softly. "Tell me about it." When Dom returned 3 days later, Natalie met him at the door. Without thinking, She hugged him, the first physical contact beyond accidental touches they'd shared. "Welcome home," she said into his shoulder. Dom's arms came around her carefully like she was precious. "It's good to be home." And Natalie realized this was home now. Not the apartment specifically, but wherever Dom was. Somehow, in 2 weeks, this lonely driver had become her safe harbor. And that was both the most terrifying and most beautiful thing that had ever happened to her. 3 weeks after Christmas, Natalie finally got a job, remote customer service for an insurance company, decent pay, flexible hours that would work around future childcare needs. "I can start contributing to rent," she told Dom excitedly, "and groceries, utilities, everything. I can actually pull my weight." "You've been pulling your weight," Dom countered. "This apartment's never been cleaner. I'm actually eating real meals instead of gas station food, and I'm happier than I've been in years. That's worth more than rent money. Still, I want to contribute financially. It's important to me. Okay, we'll figure out something fair." But their comfortable domestic routine was shattered when Natalie's mother showed up at the apartment. Dom answered the door. He was home for a rare 3-day stretch. "Can I help you?" "I'm looking for my daughter, Natalie Morrison. I was told she's staying here." Natalie emerged from the bedroom, her face going pale. "How did you find me?" "Your brother tracked your phone. We need to talk." "We don't. You made yourself very clear on Christmas. I'm not welcome in your family anymore." "Natalie, be reasonable. You can't live with some strange man." "Dom's not strange. He's been kinder to me in 3 weeks than you've been in my entire life." Her mother's gaze swept over Dom, assessing, judging, finding him wanting. "This is the man you're shacking up with, a truck driver. Natalie, have you learned nothing?" "I'm not shacking up with anyone," Natalie said firmly. "Dom's my roommate, my friend, someone who helped me when I had nowhere else to go, which I needed because my own mother threw me out on Christmas Eve. I did what was necessary to make you understand the severity of your mistakes. The only mistake I made was thinking my family loved me unconditionally." Dom stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. "Ma'am, I think it's time for you to leave." "I'm not leaving without my daughter." "I'm not your daughter anymore," Natalie interrupted, surprising herself with her own vehemence. "You made that clear. I'm just the embarrassment you kicked out, so you don't get to show up now and claim parental authority." "Natalie, you're being childish. Come home. We'll figure out the baby situation, adoption, whatever makes sense. I'm keeping my baby, and I'm staying here with Dom. Now please leave." Her mother's expression hardened. "Fine, but don't come crying to us when this all falls apart. When this man gets tired of playing savior and abandons you like the father of your baby did, you'll be alone with a child you can't support, and we won't be there to pick up the pieces." After she left, Natalie collapsed on the couch, shaking. Dom sat beside her, close but not touching. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "For what? For bringing my drama into your life. For my mother showing up here, saying those things." "Hey," Dom took her hand carefully, "your mother's cruelty isn't your fault. And her showing up here doesn't change anything. You're still welcome. You're still safe here. But what if she's right? What if you do get tired of this? Of me? I won't. You can't know that. We've known each other less than a month. And in that month, I've been happier than I've been in years. Natalie, I'm not going to abandon you. I'm not Trevor. I'm not your parents. When I commit to something or someone, I don't back out because it gets complicated." Natalie wanted to believe him, but she'd been abandoned too many times to trust easily. The situation escalated when Trevor somehow found out where she was staying. He started calling Dom's number, leaving threatening voicemails. "You think you can just take my kid? Raise my baby? I've got rights, asshole. I'm the father." Dom called their lawyer friend Marcus, a guy he'd met years ago on the road who owed him a favor. What are Trevor's actual rights here? Legally, he's the biological father, so he has the right to petition for custody or visitation. But given that he abandoned Natalie when she told him about the pregnancy, a court would be skeptical of his sudden interest. So he could make her life difficult. He could try. Whether he'd succeed is another question. Dom relayed this to Natalie, who felt her carefully rebuilt world cracking again. I can't afford a custody battle. I just started this job. I don't have savings for lawyers. You won't need savings. Marcus will help, and if there are costs, I'll cover them. Dom, I can't ask you to... You're not asking, I'm offering. Natalie, you and this baby, you matter to me. More than money, more than convenience. I'm not letting Trevor or your family or anyone else hurt you. Why? Natalie asked desperately. Why do you care so much? Dom was quiet for a long moment, then, because I'm falling in love with you. Have been since that night I found you crying on a curb. And I know it's too soon. I know it's complicated with the baby and everything else, but it's true. You've become essential to my happiness, and I protect what I love. Natalie's breath caught. Dom, you don't have to say anything back. I'm not expecting reciprocation. I just needed you to know why I'm doing all this. It's not charity or pity or some savior complex. It's love, pure and simple. Natalie felt tears streaming down her face. I'm falling for you too, but I'm terrified. Everyone I've ever loved has left me or hurt me or both. I don't know how to trust this. Then don't trust it yet, just stay. Let me keep proving it. Let me earn your trust one day at a time. But Trevor wasn't done making trouble. He filed for partial custody, claiming Natalie was an unfit mother due to her unstable living situation and inappropriate relationship with a stranger. The court date was set for March, when Natalie would be 6 months pregnant. He's going to paint me as desperate and irresponsible, Natalie said, reading the legal documents Marcus had explained. Living with a man I barely know, no stable career, no family support. He's going to make me look like a terrible mother before the baby's even born. Then we prove him wrong, Dom said firmly. We document everything, your job, your stability, your prenatal care. We show that you're doing everything right. What if that's not enough? Then we keep fighting. Natalie, I won't let him take your baby. I promise you that. You can't promise that. You don't have legal standing. You're not the father. You're just my roommate. Dom looked at her seriously. What if I was more than your roommate? What do you mean? What if we got married? Not for love necessarily, though I do love you, but legally. If we're married, I'd have standing to help protect you and the baby. I'd be family. Natalie stared at him. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. Marry me, Natalie, not because it's romantic or because we've known each other long enough. Marry me because it's strategic, because it protects you and the baby, because it gives us legal leverage against Trevor. That's insane. Is it? Or is it the smartest move we could make? Dom took her hands. Think about it. You'd have health insurance through my trucking company. You'd have legal protections. You'd have a stable two-parent household to present to the court. And Trevor couldn't claim you're living inappropriately with a strange man, if that man is your husband. But we barely know each other. We know each other better than most couples who've dated for years. I know you take your tea with honey, that you cry during dog commercials, that you organize the pantry alphabetically when you're stressed. You know I sleep with white noise, that I can't cook without making a mess, that I call my sister every Sunday. We're already living like a married couple, Natalie. This would just make it legal. Natalie's mind spun. It was crazy. It was impulsive. It was possibly the smartest thing she could do. If we do this, she said slowly, it has to be real, not just a legal arrangement. I can't marry you and then have it be fake. It wouldn't be fake, Dom promised. I love you. I want to be your husband, your partner, your family. The timing might be unconventional, but the feelings are real. I love you too, Natalie admitted, even though it's terrifying and too fast and probably crazy. So is that a yes? That's a yes. They got married at the courthouse 3 days later, with Marcus and his wife as witnesses. Natalie wore a simple white dress from Target, nothing fancy, but Dom looked at her like she was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. He'd bought her a simple gold band that fit perfectly. They said their vows quickly, legally, binding their lives together with paperwork and promises. "I can't believe we just did that," Natalie said afterward, staring at the ring on her finger. "Regrets?" Dom asked carefully. "No, just surreal. 3 weeks ago, I had nothing. Now I have a husband, a home, a future, and a baby on the way. Don't forget that part." Natalie touched her growing stomach, 15 weeks now, just starting to show. "I could never forget." The marriage changed things between them, not dramatically, but subtly. Dom became more openly affectionate, holding her hand, kissing her forehead, wrapping his arms around her from behind while she cooked. Natalie found herself leaning into the relationship, trusting it more each day. "I'm going to be gone for a week," Dom told her before his next haul. "Long route to the southwest and back. Will you be okay?" "I'm fine, Dom. The baby's fine. Go work. Call me if anything happens, anything at all." "I will. Now go before you're late." But on day 3 of Dom's trip, Natalie started cramping. Not terrible cramping, but enough to worry her. She called her OB, who told her to come in immediately for an ultrasound. "Is someone coming with you?" the nurse asked. "My husband's out of town for work." "Can you call someone else? You shouldn't drive if you're having concerning symptoms." Natalie realized with sudden clarity that she had no one, no family, no close friends in the area, no support system beyond Dom. She called him crying. "I need you to stay calm," Dom said immediately. "Where are you?" "At home. The doctor wants me to come in, but I can't drive and I don't have anyone. I'm turning around. I'm 6 hours away, but I'm coming home right now." "Dom, you can't. You have a delivery deadline." "I don't care. You and the baby are more important than any deadline. I'll call my dispatcher, explain it's a family emergency. They'll understand. Just stay calm, stay home, and I'll be there as fast as I can. I can call an Uber to the doctor. Then do that, but I'm still coming home." Natalie took an Uber to the OB appointment, terrified the entire way. The ultrasound seemed to take forever. Finally, the doctor smiled. "Baby looks perfect. Strong heartbeat, normal development. The cramping is probably just round ligament pain, completely normal at this stage. Nothing to worry about." "So the baby's okay?" "The baby's great. You're doing everything right." Natalie cried with relief, then felt guilty that Dom had turned around his entire route for what turned out to be nothing serious. But when Dom arrived at the apartment 6 hours later, looking exhausted and worried, his first words were, "Is the baby okay?" "Perfect. False alarm. I'm so sorry you drove all the way back." Dom pulled her into his arms, holding her tight. "Never apologize for needing me. That's what husbands do. We show up when our wives are scared. You lost money turning around. I don't care about money. I care about you." He pulled back to look at her face. "Natalie, you and this baby are my priority. Everything else is secondary. Understand?" She nodded, crying again, hormones and overwhelm and gratitude all mixed together. "Can I tell you something?" Dom said as they sat on the couch later. "When you called and said you were cramping, I was terrified, not just worried, genuinely terrified. And I realized something." "What?" "I want to be this baby's father, not biologically, obviously, but in every way that matters. I want to be there for their birth, their first steps, their first day of school, everything. I want to be dad." Natalie felt her heart crack open. "Are you sure? You didn't sign up for instant fatherhood." "I signed up for you. The baby comes with the package, and I couldn't be happier about that." Dom touched her stomach gently. "This little person is already mine. Has been since the moment I saw you on that curb on Christmas Eve. I'm just asking permission to make it official. You want to adopt them?" "Eventually, yeah. If Trevor's parental rights get terminated, or if he signs them away." I want this baby to be mine legally, not just emotionally. Natalie kissed him, not the gentle pecks they'd been sharing, but a real kiss full of love and gratitude and promise. You're going to be an amazing father. I'm going to try. But their moment of peace was shattered when Trevor showed up at Dom's apartment building, drunk and belligerent. "Where's my baby?" he screamed from the parking lot. "Natalie, get out here!" Dom immediately called 911 while positioning himself between the door and Natalie. "Stay inside. Lock the bedroom door. Dom, he's dangerous when he's drunk. Which is why you're staying inside while I handle this." Dom went outside, finding Trevor swaying beside his car. "You need to leave. Now. You think you can steal my family? My kid? You're nobody. I'm Natalie's husband. This baby will be my child. You gave up your rights when you abandoned them." "I didn't abandon shit. She's the one who—" Police sirens cut off Trevor's rant. He was arrested for public intoxication and violating the restraining order Natalie had filed weeks ago. This was violation number 3, the officer told them. He'll face actual jail time now. After the police left, Natalie emerged from the bedroom shaking. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry he found us. Not your fault." Dom held her carefully. "But we're moving tomorrow. I'm not risking him coming back." "Moving where?" "I've got a buddy who owns a house a few towns over. He's been trying to rent it. We'll take it, get somewhere Trevor doesn't know about, somewhere safer." "That's expensive." "I have savings, and your safety is worth every penny." They moved within a week. A small house with a yard, in a quiet neighborhood far enough from Natalie's hometown that running into family or Trevor would be unlikely. Dom made the house a home, painting the nursery, building furniture, creating a space where Natalie could feel safe raising their baby. Their baby, not biologically his, but his in every way that mattered. The custody hearing was postponed when Trevor got arrested again, driving under the influence this time. His lawyer withdrew from the case, and slowly the threat he'd represented began to fade. Natalie's second trimester passed peacefully. She worked from home. Dom adjusted his routes to be home more often, and they built a life together that felt real and right and permanent. "I can't believe this is my life now," Natalie said one evening, lying on the couch with her head in Dom's lap while he read parenting books. "Good can't believe or bad can't believe? Good, definitely good. 6 months ago, I thought I'd lost everything. Now I have more than I ever imagined." Dom smiled, touching her rounded stomach. "We both do." But the past wasn't done with them yet. Natalie went into labor 3 weeks early on a Tuesday morning in early August. Dom was home, thank God, because Natalie didn't know what she would have done if he'd been on the road. He drove her to the hospital calmly, efficiently, holding her hand through contractions and telling her to breathe. "You've got this," he kept saying. "You're so strong. You've got this." 12 hours later, their daughter was born. 6 pounds, 3 ounces, healthy lungs, perfect in every way. "She's beautiful," Dom said, tears streaming down his face as he held the tiny bundle. "Absolutely perfect." "Do you want to cut the cord?" the doctor asked. Dom looked at Natalie, asking permission. She nodded, crying too. He cut the cord, officially separating their daughter from Natalie, beginning her independent life. And when he looked at that baby, at her tiny fingers, her scrunched face, her complete vulnerability, Dom fell completely, irrevocably in love. "Hi, baby girl," he whispered. "I'm your dad. I'm going to love you and protect you and be here for you always. I promise." They named her Hope because that's what she represented. Hope after rejection, hope after fear. Hope that love could be chosen and real and lasting. Natalie's family didn't visit the hospital, didn't call, didn't acknowledge their granddaughter's existence. But Dom's sister flew in from the East Coast, bringing gifts and tears and immediate acceptance of Natalie into the family. "I'm so glad my brother found you," she told Natalie. "He's been lonely for so long. You brought him back to life." "He saved mine," Natalie responded simply. "Trevor never showed up. He'd been sentenced to 6 months for his multiple violations and DUI. By the time he got out, it would be too late. Dom's adoption proceedings were already underway. Marcus had filed paperwork to terminate Trevor's parental rights on grounds of abandonment and criminal behavior. "He might fight it," Marcus warned. "Let him try," Dom said, holding Hope against his chest. "This is my daughter. Paperwork is just a formality." They brought Hope home to the little house Dom had made safe. Dom had transformed one bedroom into a nursery, painted soft yellow, filled with carefully assembled furniture, stuffed animals on every surface. It was a room designed with love, created by a man who'd never planned to be a father, but embraced it with his whole heart. "Thank you," Natalie said that first night home, watching Dom rock Hope to sleep. "For everything. For stopping that night on Christmas Eve, for taking us in, for loving us." "Thank you for trusting me," Dom countered. "For giving me a family, for making my life mean something." If this story touched your heart, subscribe for more journeys where Christmas rejection leads to chosen families and lonely souls. Discover that home isn't where you're born, it's where you're loved. Epilogue. 2 years later. Hope's second birthday party was held in the backyard of their house, now truly their home, lived in and loved in and full of the chaos of toddler life. Dom's family came, his sister, parents, extended relatives who'd reconciled with him once they saw how happy he was. They'd apologized for their judgment years ago, had welcomed Natalie and Hope with genuine love. Marcus and his family came, bringing presents and laughter. Rosa from the Midnight Dragon's crew, Dom, had joined them after meeting Marcus. Finding community among people who understood his love of the open road came with her kids. The yard was full of people celebrating Hope's life, celebrating the family that had been built from nothing. Natalie's family hadn't been invited. "Do you regret it?" Dom asked as they watched Hope toddle around, chocolate cake all over her face. "Not having your biological family here?" "No," Natalie said honestly. "They chose to reject me. I chose to build something better, no regrets." "None?" "Well, maybe one." She smiled at him. "I wish I'd met you under better circumstances. Wish our story had started with romance instead of desperation." "I don't." Dom pulled her close. "Our story is perfect because it's real. You needed help, and I gave it. No games, no pretense, just genuine need meeting genuine care. That's more romantic than any conventional love story." "When did you know," Natalie asked, "that you loved me?" "Christmas Eve. The moment I saw you crying on that curb and knew I couldn't leave you there." "What about you?" "The first night, when you ordered Chinese food and gave me your bedroom without expecting anything in return. I didn't recognize it as love then, but looking back, that's when it started." Hope ran over, demanding, "Up, Daddy!" Dom scooped her up effortlessly, tickling her until she shrieked with laughter. Natalie watched them, her heart so full it ached. 3 years ago, she'd been rejected by her family on Christmas Eve, sitting on a curb with nowhere to go and no hope for the future. Now she had everything: a husband who loved her, a daughter who was thriving, a home full of warmth, a community of friends who'd become family. Dom had saved her that night, but she'd saved him too, pulled him out of his lonely isolation, given him purpose and connection and love. They'd saved each other. "Mama!" Hope called. "Come play!" Natalie joined her husband and daughter in the grass, playing some toddler game that made no sense but brought endless joy. Around them, their chosen family celebrated, laughed, loved. This was home. Not the house, though she loved it. Not even the people, though they were precious. Home was this feeling of being wanted, accepted, loved without conditions. Home was Dom's arms around her at night, Hope's sticky hands on her face, Marcus's terrible jokes at Sunday dinners, Rosa's kids playing with Hope like cousins. Home was chosen, built, earned, and it was more valuable than anything biology could provide. Later that night, after guests left and Hope was asleep, Dom and Natalie sat on their porch, watching stars appear in the darkening sky. "I got the official paperwork today," Dom said quietly. "The adoption's finalized. Hope is legally mine now." "She always was," Natalie said. "The paperwork just made it official." "I know, but it matters. Now no one can question it. Trevor has no rights, no claims. She's mine, ours, our family," Natalie agreed, leaning into his warmth. "Our family," Dom echoed. He thought about that night 3 years ago, driving alone on Christmas Eve, planning to spend the holiday in solitude, resigned to loneliness as a permanent state. He thought about seeing Natalie on that curb, making the split-second decision to stop and help. Best decision he'd ever made. Natalie thought about that same night, the worst moment of her life, feeling completely abandoned and hopeless. She thought about Dom crouching beside her, offering help with no expectations, saying those magic words, "Come with me." Best thing that had ever happened to her. They'd both been lonely, both been rejected, both been searching for belonging without knowing how to find it. And they'd found each other in the darkness of Christmas Eve, two strangers who became everything to each other. Her family had rejected her on Christmas, but the lonely driver had said, "Come with me." And those 3 words had changed everything, built a family, created a home, proved that sometimes the greatest gifts come wrapped in the most unexpected packages, like a stranger stopping on a snow-covered street, offering warmth to someone who'd been left in the cold. That was love. Real, chosen, unconditional love. And it was worth more than any biological family had ever been.